So why shipbuilding in India is not as good as in many other countries like smaller countries?
What is Basel Convention?
Sumit, what is the difference between a hazard and a disaster?
May I come in, sir?
Come in.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Come in, Sumit. Have a seat. You are from Fatehpur, UP. You have done BTech in Marine Engineering.
Yes, sir.
And then you could not get a nice, decent job.
No, sir. I was working with the Shipping Corporation of India. I worked with the company for 6 to 8 months, and then I shifted
As a trainee.
as a trainee marine engineer. That's
Your
the first
job was
post.
not confirmed.
I did not go further into the job. I did not take the.
The payment was not very decent. Why?
Payment was decent, as in it was a trainee job, so it was they had
It was
decreased
a kind
the
of a stipend.
stipend kind of payment was there. Then after the stipend, it at the fourth engineer, I was fifth engineer or trainee marine engineer. After at the fourth engineer level, the salary was to increase by many folds, around 80,000 to 1,25,000.
So why did you leave that?
Sir, I joined this profession of marine engineering due to certain financial constraints back then I had. My parents had some financial problems. So to mitigate those challenges, I joined this job. By 2017, those constraints were off, and so I tried to get the experience that I had learned in the college. In academics, I wanted to see it in the implementation on board ship. So I did that part, and then I, inspired by my brother's service and my parents' job, I shifted to civil services and Central Armed Police Forces, and I wrote CDS exam and Central Armed Police Forces exam.
You have worked in Calcutta in Garden Beach Shipbuilders
Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers Limited. Yes, sir.
for 2 months.
For 2 months. Yes, sir. As an intern. It was part of my college training program as an intern.
Okay. So why shipbuilding in India is not as good as in many other countries like smaller countries?
Sir, the one country that excels in shipbuilding is probably Japan. Shipbuilding in India is taking it is taking pace. One reason can be that we have not invested much in research and development in as far as naval architecture or marine engineering is concerned. We for too long we have not focused on this sector. For example,
Sagar Mala?
Sagar Mala is an initiative of Ministry of Shipping. Under this we are implementing something called port-led development. We are developing ports in a manner that we can implement multimodal transport.
Is it for all kinds of ports or only minor ports or only major ports?
This is for all kinds of ports, major ports as well as minor ports. Major ports, there are 12. This is an implementation in 12 major ports.
My final question,
yes, sir.
Sumit. What do you understand by cabotage?
Cabotage.
CABOTAGE.
Sir, I am not aware
Okay,
of.
never mind. Thank you.
Sumit, what is Basel Convention? Basel Convention.
Basel Convention is based on transshipment or transport of hazardous. It is about hazardous substances across nations.
Okay. And where is this place, Basel?
It's located in Switzerland, sir.
Switzerland. There are also Basel norms. They relate to which sector?
Basel norms relate to banking sector, sir. Regulation of banking.
And we are following which Basel norms these days?
Currently, I think we are at Basel 3 convention.
Okay. We often hear about this term net zero. What is India's net zero target, and what do you understand by net zero?
Sir, net zero primarily refers to it relates to emission targets. By net zero, I understand that our emission should be in sync with the emission target should be in sync with what the carbon we are absorbing in simple manner, and the target is to be achieved by 2070 as India has.
2070. There's also a life campaign associated with it, yes. Right? What is life? Full form of life?
The full form for the life campaign is lifestyle for environment. So we are the Honorable Prime Minister of India has encouraged Indians to undertake such he has nudged Indians to undertake such initiatives like we should switch off our lights at time, we should encourage
Correct.
power.
Sumit, now the Rafah crossing is in news, right? Where is it and why it is in news?
Sir, it is in Gaza Strip. It's a major point of conflict in between Israel and Palestine. It was in news because yesterday and day before yesterday it was in news because United States of America asked Israel explicitly to not bomb the place.
Not to launch a military operation, right?
To not undertake military operations there, but Israel undertook this.
And this Rafah crossing is with which country?
I am not able to recall the crossing border points.
Fine. Last question from my side. You have done MA in disaster studies.
Yes, sir.
What is disaster tourism?
As I can from my knowledge of disaster, I can guess only, maybe.
Please attempt.
Sir, it could be about encouraging tourism in such places where people can learn about disasters or hazardous.
You can look it up. It's a little bit different. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sumit, what is the difference between a hazard and a disaster?
Sir, so hazard is a probable is a vulnerable condition where it is not actually an event. It is a condition which can lead to a disaster when combined by the vulnerability, such as social or technological vulnerability. For example, there is a chemical processes or chemical production going on somewhere. So some events can be termed as a hazard if that event causes a damage or destruction or goes beyond the coping capacity. It
Sumit,
becomes a disaster.
When we study disaster management, it is often argued that hazards can be natural, but disasters are always man-made. Do you agree with this statement?
Sir, I strongly agree with this statement. In fact, I have research and reading is my hobby. I have undertaken a research on the similar topic and I agree that hazards are there is no need to be differentiated between a natural and man-made disaster. Hazards can be natural or man-made, but disasters are mostly and always man-made. It is we who cause them.
If we take a bird's eye view of the natural disaster ecosystem of India, which territories of India do you think are most prone to disasters?
Sir, there are, from the point of, there is something called multi-hazard studies of disaster. This is a developing area in the disaster studies field. So from that point of view, the most hazardous areas I feel are the coastal areas, where such as the Western Ghats, which are also not only they have probability of occurrence of tsunamis, cyclones, and as well as landslides. So those become the area of huge occurrence of disasters or hazardous areas, vulnerable areas.
Sumit, sometimes you must have observed this in the news that in the events of floods, for example, some of the state governments request the central government to declare this event as a national disaster. Why such requests are made?
Sir, such requests mostly are made due to sanction of financial resources. So there are certain National Disaster Response Fund and State Disaster Response Fund under the National Disaster Management Act 2005. To make use of those funds, such disasters are declared national disasters.
My final question to you. Whenever we talk about the tourism potential of a place, sustainability eventually comes into our mind. Taking a cue from the developmental agenda that we are pursuing right now, what suggestions would you like to give to the government agencies so that a fine balance can be maintained between exploring the tourist potential of a place and maintaining the sanctity and sustainability of the ecosystem?
Sir, main policy reforms that we need as of now from this point of view is that pollution control measures should be in place. Building infrastructure should be in place, such as the most tourist, the place where I have been to, like Kolkata or Prayagraj. I have been to in schooling in Prayagraj. So these places have tourist places, but the pollution control measures are not in place in tourist places. So that becomes one policy measure. Second is building norms should be followed in tourist places. and third would be proper the sustainability is directly linked to the governance norms of the
Okay, thank you.
yes sir.
Sumit, what is the status of a smart city project?
Smart city project is being implemented in around 100 cities in India. Nearly.
When the scheme was launched?
I think it was launched in 2015, sir.
And has any city of India become smart so far?
So, sir, there is no set definition of a smart city in the smart city project as of now. So,
We are running a scheme without any definition?
It is running. We are running the government of India is running the scheme with not with a proper definition, but with proper characteristics and initiatives in mind, such as Swachh Bharat Mission becomes a part of a smart cities project in some places. So that has to be implemented in a gradual manner, or building or providing basic amenities, or such as developing infrastructure in the cities. That becomes part of the based on the requirement the smart cities are developing in India.
Any concrete achievements so far?
Sir, in my state, in Uttar Pradesh, Kanpur and Prayagraj have been declared smart cities for that reason. They have seen huge growth.
So have you visited Kanpur?
Sir, yes, sir, I have visited.
Have you seen any change in that characteristic of the city?
Sir, as far as road infrastructure is concerned, and basic amenities and Swachh Bharat related and issues are concerned, pollution control issues are concerned, the changes are visible, sir.
But in last 3-4 years, we are recording that the North Indian cities are the pollution level is intolerable. They are becoming more and more gas chambers.
Sir, that has a problem of there are multiple reasons for that. Now, when we compare them to some other cities in the, for example, north, we compare them vis-a-vis South India or some other cities. Definitely, there are problems. But to mitigate those challenges,
not only comparatively. If you look at the API is running most of the time more than 400. Many of the cities, whether it is Kanpur or Varanasi or Meerut or Delhi or Patna or many others.
Sir, there are certainly there are reasons for that. The pollution level goes high during winters. So governments take periodic.
And why this is happening only in last 5-6 years, not earlier?
Sir, that has been happening like for 5-6 years. We are growing through the climate change and weather pattern changes in the atmosphere. One reason is that, and then production and consumption levels are also increasing.
So, do you think there should be a planned, just for example, Chinese government is following for last 5-6 years a planned policy of degrowth to decongest their cities and to depollute their cities. Should we also follow some kind of degrowth policies?
Degrowth, as in, as far as I understand, it should not be from the view of degrowing in economic sense.
Degrowth of certain cities. Cities are overcrowded, overcongested.
Overcrowding of the cities can be mitigated through increasing population in the peri-urban and rural areas. For example, there are certain. For example, if we take the example of Noida, sir. So the Noida has some certain peri-urban areas where population, where scope of growth of population is much more. So expansion towards outer part of the city or place should be
okay.
The
So
priority.
Nice talking to you. Your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. May I come in, sir?
Come in. Have your seat. Sumit, you have got some 20 days of time before your actual interview.
Yes, sir.
28th. And on most part you appear to be prepared.
Yes, sir.
Particularly on your MA subject, disaster studies, your preparedness is good, satisfactory.
Thank you, sir.
Because disaster studies ultimately is broader study of the entire habitation structure. If our habitation structure is not balanced, it is likely to face disaster any moment. And indirectly that brings into that domain smart management of cities and villages and urban areas kind of thing. So some schemes are there. I hope you remember those schemes.
Yes. Amrut, yes, sir.
etc. Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission, how these new schemes are different from the old ones, kind of things. And whether these projects are funded by some international organizations like World Bank or ADB, etc.
Yes, sir.
Maybe. So these dimensions, I think you are fine, prepared. About your training in marine engineering, I think some more detailed answer they can expect.
Yes, sir.
You were not forthcoming on your own side. Maybe you are hesitant or you're not very sure about it. On a couple of questions, for example, your answer in Sagarmala was not very clear.
Yes, sir.
It appeared that you were answering through some old reading or some a little bit guesswork.
Yes, sir.
So the point is that let us study in the next 20 days, study many of the schemes which are related to marine resources, including presence of Indian Army in Maldives.
Yes, sir.
What are the official objectives of the presence there?
Yes, sir.
What is Indian Ocean Rim Association? That is our presence in Indian Ocean, and Indian Ocean Rim Association is one of that. BIMSTEC is another reason for the presence. What is exclusive economic zone? What is free trade warehousing zone, etc.
Yes, sir.
These are the concepts related to marine resource management. We are one of the leading exporters of marine products in
Yes,
the
sir.
world. They can ask those questions also. So I think prepare that part, invest a little bit. We expected you to be aware of the current developments. For example, Rafah is that side which is close to Egypt.
Egypt.
And all the UN aid are coming through that only.
Through there.
So humanitarian aid, etc. So the issue is that that territory is used for humanitarian aid. This is why USA has intervened there. So I think you expected to be aware of it. You may improve your answer by making it more to the point, objective.
Yes, sir.
Your knowledge is good about disaster related and all the issues, but if you come to the point, it will be more effective.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes we do not have clarity about certain things. We have a vague idea about certain things. In that situation, our answer does not become structured.
Yes, sir.
So if you come across any of such issues that you are having a very general idea and a vague idea, accept it politely. So that I have some vague idea, I am not very clear about it. So if you permit me, I'll like to answer.
Yes, sir.
So there'll be at least feel that okay.
Yes, sir.
You have accepted in your politeness that you are having vague idea. तो वो भी अच्छा impression रखता है. Otherwise, you are overall nice. Are you planning to wear this kind of dress?
No, sir. I have ordered the suit.
ठीक है. So hopefully that part would be there.
Yes, sir.
Your sitting posture is nice. You are having a straight body. Your facial expressions is fine. You are having pleasant outlook. Hand placement is good. Eye contact is also good. So all this exterior part of your personality is good. Interior part is also good. But 2-3 points where you can be more effective.
Okay,
suggested. Any other question or query?
No, sir. That will.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.